people look at immigrant workers and say, oh my God, they are so vulnerable. Oh my God, poor kids. And it's not that. People is working. People is standing up every day and facing their challenges, right? New Labor is a community-based organization / worker center. And a lot of the work that we do is with the purpose of helping people to amplify their voices. We believe that workers and low-wage immigrant workers in general have a voice. So we don't have to come in and provide people with a voice because they already have it. But what we want to do is provide them with the necessary skills so they can use those voices that they have already in their workplaces, in the community, and also in politics. So it's a process of obtaining and gaining power, and at the same time using it to actually improve working conditions, which is a really impressive matter for them. I'm the daughter of a hippie Baptist pastor, and I'm a very progressive librarian. A lot of the politics I learned in church. My father was always talking about service and how important it was to be able to empower people to move forward. And that's why I was so close to the issues of justice and empowerment. Women in my family, they are strong as hell. They were mothers that decided to go to school instead of staying home with the kids. I remember one day that I was waking up, it was a Saturday. I was like, Mommy, why you don't make breakfast like all the other mothers, right? And she was like, listen, if you want me to do it, I will do it because I love you, but not because that's my role. We are more than that. And we are more than just cooking and washing dishes and stuff like that. I just have to keep pushing. We call it in Spanish fajona. And it's like you keep pushing until you get there. And that's something that I learned from the women in my family. My great-grandfather was working in sugarcane fields. And he set his purpose that his daughters and sons were going to go to college and educate themselves so they can stop working in the sugarcane fields. They did it. They went to school, and they faced a lot of issues with because they were black, so the race was an issue in college. And how they overcome all those challenges is also a testimony for why I do what I do. Because the reason I'm here is because they struggle, and I owe that to them. It was kind of like the first hardcore action that we had because of the presence of the police and how people felt that probably the police would not understand their situation. She calls the police and tells the police we were actually threatening her with physical violence. So I remember saying, that's good that you call the police because the only thief is behind the counter. The police officer said, if you don't leave, we are going to arrest you. To me, to another organizer, and to the worker that had the complaint, I'm like, we are not leaving. She has the check in her hand, and you could see the check, and she doesn't want to give it out. And he's like, what? And when he saw that he had the check, he was like, just give him the check. The police, they backed the workers up. So we were able to leave with a check. But that's not the good part of it. I think the good part of it is that people saw it, that it was possible. One of the things that actually makes part of who we are as a society is that we are all workers. Work is supposed to dignify us as human beings. It's not supposed to humiliate us. Sometimes we have to walk a little bit backwards to actually be able to move to the front. There is a huge tension between our goals and the integrity that we need to get to our goals. Run the race, run it, but be sure you do it with integrity and respect.